Slowly taking shape in Britain's largest dry dock is the Royal Navy's future flagship. HMS Queen Elizabeth is looking more and more like an aircraft carrier. And now that the hull is together, I'm told the best way to grasp the sheer scale of this ship is to try to walk around her. So, here we are, the future HMS Queen Elizabeth. What state is she in at the moment then?
Well, the project's really accelerated at pace recently, and we've got over 40,000 tonnes in the dock already. Wow. Making this unfinished HMS Queen Elizabeth one of the heaviest ships ever in the history of the Royal Navy.
Is everything on time and to budget? Is it going well?
We're really working to plan at the moment. All on for launch, floating out of the dock here next year, and actually having the ship complete by the end of this year.
It's extraordinary. Can we get on board?
Yeah, I hope you're okay with stairs.
The huge chunks of hull known as blocks were built all over the UK and then transported to Rosyth for final assembly. And this is the first time the cameras have been able to explore the full extent of the ship. So here we are, I guess this is the hangar deck. What stage is this at? What are the guys doing in here?
Well, now we've joined the blocks together, the key work now is to integrate them, make them all work together, pull the cables, get them painted, get the ship up and running.
Where are we going now? Come on.
Let's go down to the ops room.
Oh, wow, yeah. The ops room will be the ship's nerve centre at sea, with state-of-the-art technology controlling the battle space and monitoring ships, planes and even troops ashore. Over here we already have a set-up console. We can quite clearly see where it's going to go on the floor and how the services are going to get into it. I mean, this ship is quite ready almost, isn't it? I mean, it's not that far away from completion.
Well, the whole plan was to have the blocks delivered here at a very high state of completion.
Engineers are putting the finishing touches to much of the ship, but some compartments are ready now, including much of the all-important living accommodation.
We'll have a flat panel display here, we'll have movies on demand in the rec areas, you'll have your own power point to charge your iPad or your iPhone or what have you from as well. So yeah, really unparalleled level of comfort, I think.
Her Majesty the Queen will launch her namesake in just a year's time, and it won't be that long afterwards that this huge flight deck welcomes its first planes and helicopters. Will Inglis, Forces News, Rosyth.
This multi-million-pound simulation suite is crucial in the development of the next-generation aircraft carrier and its aircraft, the F-35 Lightning II. At its heart, this flight simulator. Peter Wilson, BAE Systems test pilot, is showing me how it works. We're doing what's known as a ship-borne rolling vertical landing. Different from the Harrier, the landing involves some forward movement, and that's because although the F-35 is capable of a true jump jet style landing, when fully loaded it needs a small amount of lift from the wings, hence the 64 knots of speed that we maintain as we land.
Close to touchdown I get flashing lights, we're down, the throttle will go to idle, I jump on the toe brakes and we stop the airplane.
Guiding us is a head-up display. And even for a complete novice like me, it's very understandable, even straightforward.
And that's what we're trying to do with F-35 all over the place, is make the airplane super easy to fly so that the guys in the cockpit can focus on what they really need to be worrying about, which is the war.
Peter says with 20 minutes of practice, I'll be able to land on my own.
Now just hold everything until touchdown and get on the brakes. Bit of right correction.
Oh, that's left, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm too heavy with my feet there, aren't I? After a couple of practice runs, Peter retreats to a headset. The hydraulic rams are raised, and I'm doing it for real. The hydraulics really add to the sensation, and despite my complete lack of natural ability, I do land it sort of okay, pulling to a complete stop in just 200 feet.
And we've stopped.
That was awesome. Good job.
Now, you might think this is all about flight training pilots, but it's not. This simulator is actually an engineering tool, getting both the F-35 and the carrier bang on, solving design conflicts before they arise.
In a simulation environment, we can operate the aircraft off the aircraft carrier years in advance of actually being able to do it in real life. So, again, we can look at all the pros and cons, look at any issues and work our way around those.
This shows where real progress has been made in what the final Queen Elizabeth class carrier will be like thanks to this simulator. Look at these aeroplanes lined up as they will be on the real carrier. They're at an angle now because this simulator has shown that's the best place for them to be. More room on the deck for the planes to land, and that means during the build phase for the carrier everything can be built in the right place. If they'd only found this out after it had been built, it would have cost millions to rectify. On the day of my visit, military personnel were spending time in the simulator. They represent a customer in this whole process.
We are very much now looking at the ability to, bring back a much better, much less workload to the ship, and between the two of them, what we're doing here will make it a lot easier for overall delivery of the system.
We're still years away from seeing a QE2 class carrier with its complement of F-35s in an operational stance. But with this continual extremely high level of simulation, hopes are high that it'll be a relatively smooth process getting them to that stage. Tim Cooper, Forces News, BAE Systems.